sentiments from legislators allied to the Azimio One Kenya coalition. And on the other end, Kenya Kwanza MPs, led by the majority leader in the National Assembly, that is Kimani Ichung'wah, also had their view on the demonstrations that was stationed yesterday by the Azimio One Kenya coalition. And they have called for the arrest of all those who were involved in the vandalism of property within the capital and also in the disruption of business between different areas in the country. Okay. And we have been able to go on the ground, and indeed there was a lot of disruptions and varied sentiments. And when it comes to the legislators, we need to hear them because they represent a larger faction of the people. They are the people's representatives, and such talk is what has been called for. The religious leaders on the other front have called for dialogue, and the dialogue is seemingly coming from different sides of the coalitions, and it is more of a this blame the other, because the Azimio faction is accusing the police of being used in attacking the protesters. The other front is saying that business was disrupted and it was costly for the country. And also, a lot has come out even from the deputy president, that is Rigathi Gachagua, who condemned, saying that business to the tune of 2 billion had been lost within the capital. And from his front, the Kenya Kwanza coalition, these are the sentiments of the legislators today.
Attempts at capturing power, which began in 1982. It is a demonstration of Mr. Odinga's contempt for democracy and the rule of law, constitutionalism, as well as peace. Times are indeed hard, and Kenyans are trying their best to get going. Anyone making life so much more unbearable through selfishly motivated political violence is unlikely to be viewed with much understanding. Moreover, as demonstrated, Mr. Odinga's arguments about the cost of living contradict his earlier position and are unsupported by the fact of prevailing market prices. His agitation has to do with subsidies that were allocated under the pretext of cushioning Kenyans from high prices, which in fact were embezzled by Azimio handshake regime leadership in one of the country's most scandalous thefts. The failure. Mr. Odinga's criminal escapades are desperate futilities. He does not enjoy the support of the entire Azimio constituency or Kenyans in general. There were no demonstrations or protests in counties of the Central, Rift Valley, Western, Eastern, Northeastern, and Coast region. Ultimately, only Kisumu bore the brunt of the criminality, aside from goons mobilized by ODM MPs to terrorize poor mama bogas. There were no demos in Siekuru, Yeshogo, or even Daragwa, where some of the Azimio leaders come from. It is quite evident that some regions require to emancipate from the Odinga yoke and slavery of being used as pawns for self-preservation of a single individual's thirst for power. So questions to Mr. Odinga are the following. Besides Mr. Odinga's reasons and actions beg the question, how does a disrupting campaign of looting and violent mayhem address the cost of living? Why actually didn't he demonstrate before the elections when unga was costing 230 shillings? But now he's demonstrating when it has come down to 170. That is hypocrisy. How does subjecting hard-working Kenyans to hardship and causing enormous losses to traders and businesses improve the cost of living?